As we have just mentioned, cardiac muscle makes up the walls of the heart. However, for a better understanding of cardiac muscle, it should be noted that the heart wall is actually made up of 3 layers: the outer epicardium, the middle myocardium, and the inner endocardium. The epicardium is the outermost layer of the 3 layers that make up the heart wall. The epicardium, seen here highlighted in green, surrounds the heart muscle, acting as a protective layer. On the outer surface of the epicardium, there is a layer of epithelial tissue made up of simple squamous epithelial cells, also known as mesothelial cells. In addition to mesothelial cells, the epicardium is also composed of a connective tissue layer. On its outer surface, the epicardium is in contact with the pericardium. The pericardium has 2 layers, the fibrous pericardium and the serous pericardium. The serous pericardium is further divided into 2 layers, the parietal layer and the visceral layer. The parietal layer lines the fibrous pericardium, and the visceral layer actually forms part of the epicardium. Both of these layers secrete fluid, lubricating the heart to prevent friction during heart activity. Between the pericardium and the epicardium is a layer of fat or adipose tissue known as epicardial fat, seen here in this micrograph. On its inner surface, however, the epicardium is fused to the myocardium. The myocardium is the second layer of the heart wall. It's the thickest layer of the 3 layers of the heart and is made up of cardiac muscle, which we should now be getting familiar with. As we saw earlier, the fibres of the cardiac muscle are arranged into fascicles or bundles that are bound by connective tissue. The myocardium provides scaffolding for the chambers of the heart, assisting in contraction and relaxation of the cardiac walls, and resulting in the pumping of blood in and out of the chambers of the heart. It should be noted that the myocardium layer varies in thickness. The ventricles have a thicker layer of myocardium in their walls than the atria. On top of this, the left ventricle is 2 to 3 times thicker than the right one, as it works hard to pump blood throughout the entire body, whereas the right ventricle only has to pump blood to the lungs. The third and innermost layer of the heart wall is the endocardium. In contrast to the myocardium, the endocardium layer is the thinnest within the walls of the ventricles and thickest within the walls of the atria. This layer of the heart is directly connected to the cardiac appendages of the heart. It's lined with endothelium, which is a layer of simple squamous epithelial cells on the inner surface of the heart cavities. This layer is continuous with the endothelium that lines the blood vessels of the heart. The deep part of the endocardium is composed of loose connective tissue, seen here in this micrograph. This deep layer of the endocardium fuses with the myocardium. So basically, the subendocardial connective tissue joins the endocardium with the myocardium. It contains large cardiac muscle cells called perkingi fibres that you can see here on your screen. The perkingi fibres are larger than cardiomyocytes and they contain more mitochondria. These cells are specialised for conduction, and keeping in mind that the subendocardial connective tissue is closely associated to the myocardium, the perkingi fibres are able to transfer an action potential quickly and efficiently from the endocardium to the myocardium. It should also be noted that the perkingi fibres spread from the atrioventricular bundle of His and go on to innervate the ventricles. Here in this micrograph we see the Tbeculae carne, which are muscular columns that project from the inner surface or walls of the left and right ventricles. In this illustration we can see the Tbeculae carne from a ventral view of the right ventricle. It's believed that the Tbeculae carne play a similar role to that of the papillary muscles, preventing the tricuspid and bicuspid valves from inverting by pulling on the chordae tendineae. By doing so, they stop blood from flowing back into the atria.
If you found this quick anatomy or physiology video helpful, you'll enjoy our video tutorials even more. Click on the button and you'll see what I mean. We have hundreds of videos available to our premium members, not to mention all the fun quizzes, complete articles, and atlas sections to solidify your knowledge. Click on the button in the middle to watch the full-length video and master anatomy and physiology.